Good evening, America. Hi, I'm Christina.
And I'm Ron.
We have breaking news tonight.
Breaking news.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes, Black lives do matter, and it's something that we've heard quite a bit in the last few weeks. Of course, it's been started years ago, but it's really come to a forefront after the um, incidents that occurred earlier this week or late last week, with George Floyd. Um, and then prior to that, there were other incidents that, we can go through them all, but there were several different incidents leading up to the George Floyd incident that, caused the country to be in an uproar.
You never really know how much it impacts you till you're personally affected by it. While no one personally in my family has been affected by police brutality as far as death goes, but I do have a childhood friend whose son was viciously murdered here in Stockton, California. And it is a tragedy. And she is still on the fight today for her son and the things that happened to him.
Yeah, and being that I'm a black man, as y'all can see, I've had some experiences as well with the police department, and things don't always go as planned when you're apprehended by the police. I know one incident stands out in my mind where I was actually um, drawn down on by more than one officer in the middle of the night. I was coming home from a house party, me and a friend of mine, and we walked through the neighborhood, so I was thinking I'd have a little plastic bat with me to fend off any stray dogs that may want to get with us, or anything that may jump off. And I guess, I don't know if a neighbor called. Either way, we got apprehended and confronted, and when they confronted us, the guns was drawn. So we heard a lot of clack, 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 that sound. But anyway, it was not a good feeling, and it always rang, in my mind. Thank God I got out of that situation without getting shot, but I very well could have been killed that night. So that was back many years ago when I was younger. But the house party years, and yeah. So I made it out of that, but it was never something it never was far from my mind. Whenever I would go out, it just always would play with my mind. So something I've always kept with me.
Yeah, and I, as a mother, I have two sons. So I am a mother of two black sons. And my oldest son, probably 10, maybe 11 years ago, had an encounter with the Stockton Police Department in his own home. He was in his own home and was attacked by a police dog. What happened? Neighbors called the police. They thought they saw somebody suspicious. Yes, he was living with his sister, and she had like a little room in the back of the house, and he was staying in there. And so the police came. Unfortunately, when they came, they seen her door. It had some marks on it. Unfortunately, they took that as someone broke into that home. And so when they went around to the back of the house, and they called for him to come out, he was afraid and scared because he's in his own home, and here the police are coming into his home. And he didn't come out quick enough, and they sent the dog in, and they really tore a chunk out of his leg. I really thought I was going to have a heart attack that night. The stress alone, knowing that your son has been attacked by a police dog, is terrifying. I was a mess for at least a few weeks, just dealing with the whole situation. Were we going to sue? What's going to happen? I mean, this was obviously a tragedy and a mistake on their part. What were we going to do about it? I mean, the officer was apologizing at the hospital, but it still didn't take the pain away from what happened. So, if it can happen to us, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, and I mean, I was there for that situation. It was very traumatic and it was unexpected. And, whenever you're in your own home, you never think that you're going to be attacked by the police, but again and again we hear the stories, and we were actually a victim of that ourselves with our family with the situation she's discussing right now. And so we just want to share because we know that you probably have stories too that you may have experienced. I don't know, but it's just this time in our history, this is a really big issue. And I think about the NFL today, the commissioner coming out and expressing that he's made a mistake with the situation, not agreeing with the athletes when they were coming out and kneeling and things like that. So it's just a really really transitional time right now, and it's historic. This is going to be something we'll tell the grandkids about. This 2020 year has been amazing.
And it really is historic. It's really a shame that we're still talking about the same things here today over and over. And a lot of times people are saying, well, what the heck? What do we want? We want to hold the police accountable. We need a citizen board that polices the police. Good Lord, we need body cameras on every police officer to record every interaction. And for heaven's sakes, we need more sensitivity training for people of color. Obviously, they don't know how to interact with us. They're afraid. I don't know what's going on, but we need sensitivity training. Here in Stockton, I'm definitely calling on Michael Tubbs. Like, you're doing a great job, but we need to make sure we do a better job too with our police department.
And I think too, there's been a lot of talk about the police department, but if we really think about this situation seriously and holistically, we'll understand that it's not just a police problem, it's a society problem. Because Zimmerman, with the Trayvon story, he actually was not a policeman. You know what I mean?
He was not.
So he was someone that was doing neighborhood watching in the neighborhood of where Trayvon lived or whatever, and he was not a policeman. So I think that, and then the other guy that was shot, the Ahmaud Arbery, I can't think of his name exactly, but
vigilante.
The brother that was killed just prior to George Floyd, okay,
on a jog
in the South,
run.
And that wasn't police either. So these situations, it's a society problem. I mean, the police definitely, they really, with the George Floyd, obviously, definitely we got to work with the police department, but it's a society problem as well.
Well, let's just say what it is. It's a fear. They fear our black men. It doesn't matter how old they are. They can be 9 years old. They fear them. And as long as there's fear in people, they're going to call the police when they see something. They're going to call the police even when they don't see something and they think they see something. That's what they're going to do because they are afraid. When the police officer shoots an unarmed black man, it's because he's afraid. He's afraid.
And I can only say amen to that statement. And, if you think about it, if, this Black Lives Matter takes off like it's taken off, this will give white America a little more familiarity hopefully with the black population and what we're dealing with. I've seen a lot of things coming up as far as frequency when it comes to knowledge of what the black plight is in this country over the last few days. And I don't know if it's going to continue, but with the NFL changing their stance and a lot of different things going on in our culture, you never know what the future may hold. If we can get around this virus epidemic thing, the pandemic,
which hasn't gone away.
Which hasn't gone away, and it's been higher numbers for minorities and people of color, as we know. So that part of it's affecting the minorities very, very heavily as well. So we got that problem going too.
We have the protesting that's going on right now. I think we're on day 11 of protesting. I never thought in my lifetime I would live to see a day when there's 11 straight days of protesting for Black lives. That's amazing and historic.
Yeah, so, I don't know where we're going to go from here, but I know that some of the changes she's talking about with the cameras, on the policemen. I'm thinking we got to spread more understanding of what the black people are facing in this country so that people aren't naive. I talk to some people that aren't black and they have this belief that, oh, well, all races face this and all races face that. Well, that may be true, but there's a heightened frequency that blacks tend to experience in this country, and they have been experiencing from the beginning. And if people educate themselves, they will understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, let me give you an example of systematic racism. My father was born in 1927. He lived through a lot of systemic racism, denial of being able to purchase a home, owning a business, the loss of several homes because of predatory lending practices. The things that he lost because of systemic racism can never be repaid. Never be repaid. He all the things that happened to him can never be repaid. But it can be acknowledged. It can be like, yeah, we understand your hurt and let us help you. Everyone wants to say it happened so many years ago. Again, my father was born in 1927. He waited to have kids because he wanted a better world for his kids. And this is what we have. This is what we have. It's not a better world right now. I had someone actually tell me, oh, well, everything's good for you. You guys have a pool, so everything should be great. You guys made it. You have more than what I have. That's not the point. How many brothers and sisters out there right now that are homeless, that don't have food right now?
Well, you have Jordan, you have Oprah, you have Obama, you have Michael Jackson, you got Prince, you got a lot of folks that are doing well. That don't change the fact that as a whole, the people of America that are of this shade are having problems in big numbers. Bigger numbers than any other race. So those are the facts. So people can say, well, yeah, you guys are doing well. Well, you know what? Everybody doesn't cope so well with the abuse and the discrimination and the unfairness that we have to experience. Some folks don't thrive in those type of environments. So we've been able to thrive pretty well, I guess, but that doesn't mean that we can't be down tomorrow. We can't be in trouble in a few months. Who knows? But the bottom line is, it's not easy for our race of people, for this group of people, the black population. So black lives are having problems. It's not just police. It's not just society. There's economic issues. There's employment issues. There's health issues. All those things are a factor, and it's been years and years of it. So we're just a result of that now, of subpar education, of subpar healthcare, subpar this, subpar. You can just subpar down the list. Okay, subpar, and that's where as a whole, that's where we are. Oprah might be shining. Tavis, what's his name?
Tavis Smiley.
Not Tavis Smiley, but the dude that does the movies. What's the brother that does the
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry. There you go. He's doing well. Okay, you can name a bunch of brothers that's doing well. Kevin Hart's doing well. That don't mean black people are doing well as a whole. So those friends that are telling you that, and the friends that I experienced it will tell me that, that's the main issue. That's the truth. The truth is, as a people, it's not working out. And we got. That's why people are ready to burn stuff up, and I can't blame them for that. Sure, it's wrong.
Encourage it.
Sure, it's illegal. I don't encourage it. But when you're fed up, you're fed up. I know people, when they get mad, they punch a wall. Some of them, when they get mad, some of them, get hot and steamy and will break a window, okay, when they get mad. You never know. People lose control when they get upset, okay? And when you got 400 years of being upset, that's when you have looting. That's when you have fires. That's when you have, chaos in the streets.
Well, not only that, think about it. These young black men don't have jobs. A lot of them don't have jobs. They can't get a business license. They can't start a job. I mean, so if you have nothing and you're hopeless, and you're young,
and there's a pandemic going on, and you've been home for the last 3 months.
what do you got to lose? That's the
It was
problem.
the perfect storm, man. It was the perfect storm, and our president did not handle it well, like he didn't handle the virus well.
Again.
So there you go.
And by far, most of the protests have been peaceful. We've had a few young kids maybe, be out of pocket. But again, some education, teaching them, helping them, mentoring them, that'll help them. Not locking them up. I mean, they're just frustrated.
So understand that we're at a crossroads. To be honest, in my opinion, what I see, the country's at a crossroads, and we got to choose to love each other, or are we going to kill each other? I mean, the country's going to end up burning itself up, because we're not getting along and we're not looking out for each other. And that's not what the Constitution says. That's not what is in the Declaration of Independence. And we got to live up to those things that are stated in our country's history. We got to live up to those.
I had someone say that they don't want to talk about the past. They don't want to go through the past because, you can't really change anything in the past. Well, you have to recognize the past so you can change the future. I understand you don't want to listen and hear about all the bad things that happen, but do something about the future. If you know that people are getting bad loans because of their color of their skin, do something about it. If you're around coworkers or you're around your own family members and they begin to talk derogatory about another race, say something. Speak up. Don't just sit there and be silent, because that's the problem.
Don't be like one of them cops that was involved in the George Floyd situation, where you just going to stand by while somebody's got their knee on somebody else's neck, whether it be for buying a loan, as she said, whether it be for getting a job, whether it be for trying out for a role, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of discrimination that goes on. I've entered contests. I'm not going to say which contest, but I've entered some contests over the last few years, and I didn't quite come out where I thought I'd come out at, but I definitely kept hope alive. But yeah, so you never know where discrimination is going to show or rear its ugly head, but as a black man and as a black family, we tend to expect it. So
we do, and that's a sad fact. We do. Just had a conversation with my son, and I told him, I said, you see what happened? If you get pulled over by the police, what are you going to do? And he starts naming off everything he's going to do. And the main thing he's going to do is he ain't going to say something back, because he knows we want him to come home that night, okay?
Whether we go to restaurants, whether we go to hotels and we're on vacation, there's always that instance where somebody wants to play you short because who knows why, but they want to give you that subpar service, and it's something we come to expect. It's unfortunate, but that's life in America. And so that's why we're talking about Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Even in those situations, it shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't have to deal with subpar service because of our skin, or people think that you're lower than somebody else because of, you look a certain way. So that's the long and the short of it. So.
Yeah, we felt like we had to come on here tonight and just say something, because our community is hurting right now, and frankly, I'm hurting right now. I'm suffering right now from PTSD. I saw a black man killed before my very eyes. He called for his mama. When he called for his mama, my heart went out and I was ready to reach out. I could have just cried at that very moment when he called out for his mama, because that could have been my son. And if we're not careful and we don't change things, it will be my son, or someone I know, or someone's son that I know. We have to stop this. We're done. We're tired, and it's enough is enough. We're not taking it no more.
Well, I couldn't put it no better. I think my wife has put it online there for you. So until next time, y'all, we're going to stay hopeful. We're going to stay alert, vigilant, and I'm going to keep posting what I can post. And I did convert somebody from being a Trumpite earlier today, so I feel good about that.
We love you too.
Yeah, we love y'all. Stay up, stay informed, Don't listen to Fox News
Good evening,
unless
America.
they're telling the truth. Then, just check them, man, because they be coming with some, yeah.
Form
Okay.
your own opinions.
Yeah, just make sure you have more than one source when it comes to your information. There you go.
Peace.
Peace out. Good evening, America. We love y'all. Till next time. So, hey, a little project we did this evening. As you can see, it says Black Lives Matter. I don't know if it's upside down or backwards for y'all, but that's what it says. And then we got some portraits of the family, different choice shots. We take pictures every year, Christmas time, so we got a series of family portraits in there.
But why do we have pictures in there? So that you can see that Black Lives Matter. This is our family. They matter. People matter.
Yeah, they matter. We got a rich history, family history, and we love our family just like you guys love your family. So, we're really, we all bleed, we all sweat, we're really the same, to be honest. You know it and I know it. So we gotta be a family, and this is our family. You're our family too, even if you ain't black. All right.